Tom Jonathan is a real mystery in this project. He starts out as the night manager at this
Yes.
hotel, and then gets recruited in to do a really serious job. Just talk about that character and playing so many different sides of him.
I found it fascinating. And John Le Carre has always talked about Jonathan Pine as being like an actor and an immaculate performer, somebody who's capable of stepping into different identities and being entirely credible as each of those personae. And I think that's what I found fascinating about exploring the character, is that Pine is someone who people instinctively trust, and he has a very elegant, polished, refined demeanor, behind which I think he can conceal his true feelings, and it makes him, it makes people confide in him, and it makes people trust him. But the events of episode 1 challenge him to make a stand, to reveal himself, to reveal his true colors. And then how he then follows through on that is what I think makes The Night Manager so compelling.
Well, what I love about his real job, the night manager job, is he's got to be that every moment of the evening. As each new guest comes forward, he has to be a different person.
Yeah, it's interesting. I did some. I actually spent a night as the night manager of the Rosewood Hotel in London, and they very generously allowed me to come and do it. And it was keeping every guest happy. It's such a specifically diplomatic skill. There was a wedding party going on in the ballroom downstairs, but there were guests on the first floor complaining about the music, and having to balance that because they're all guests at the hotel, they're all important, I think was a very interesting lesson in diplomacy and performance.
Did you catch any one of them thinking, what's happened to Tom's career that he's now managing here at the hotel?
It's funny. Nobody noticed during the night, and at breakfast the next morning, people started to do double takes, as if somehow. I was simply more invisible by night, and as soon as people came down for breakfast, they were like, "Hang on, aren't you?" Which was really interesting. That the same people didn't notice the night before.
Hugh Laurie's opposite you in a lot of scenes. Another great actor.
Yeah.
The two characters, though, Hugh's character is so in tune with so many people. He could see right through them. How is Jonathan able to fool him?
I think it's one of those fascinating questions that Hugh and I talked about, is that I think Roper sees in Pine a potential successor of his empire. And I think he's been looking for someone like that for a long time. Somebody who has a sort of facility with people, someone who has a charisma and a charm and a intelligence. But possibly there is an aspect of Roper that does see his end coming, and that maybe Susanne Bier, the director, and I and Hugh always used to talk about The Night Manager as a chase of mouse by cat, a game of cat and mouse where the audience are kept guessing as to who is the cat and who is the mouse, and that's very thrilling, I think. But it's also psychologically interesting, especially if the roles are switching. Is there a part of the mouse that wants to be caught?
What's the kind of character that could continue on in other projects? Do you think it will?
I honestly don't know. We've reached the end of the novel, so that's definitive. there is no more novel to adapt, and I honestly have no idea about whether it continues. I guess we have to wait and see.
Well, it's a great project. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris.